Next video. So, look, I could explain to you why I do all these things, and I'm trying to, in a way, but you're also far away. You can't say anything to that, and to you it probably doesn't really matter why I do anything at all, and maybe it does, who knows, but it's none of your business anyway. But when you live together with people, and sometimes they want to understand why you do things, and then you try to explain it to them, and then what will become apparent is that they're completely incapable of understanding anything at all that you're doing. And I would call that frustrating, because they act like they want to help you, and when they realize they can't, they still try to anyway, because otherwise they would have to admit to themselves that they can't help you. It's like the parent conundrum, right? Predicament is also a good word, apparently, because parents always want to help you, but especially when your parents are more like materialistic. The only thing they can give you is materials, which in my case is a place to stay and food to eat, until I don't need that anymore, because I want to be self-sufficient, right? But parents feel good when they feel like they can help you. So then, when my dad tries to understand what I'm doing writing these books, he doesn't. The only thing he can do is like pat me on the shoulder and say, keep going. That's all he can help me with. And sometimes he tried to understand what I'm doing, and at first I tried to explain to him what it is that I'm doing, only that I realized I can't. He listens and he nods. He doesn't get it, because in the end he says something that just shows that he doesn't understand what I'm talking about. And how could he? If you are living in the materialistic mindset, to you it's all about materials, whereas to me it's all about energy, everything. And that's then what you would call spirituality, where you don't just see, oh, I'm a body and I need to mate, like a body, like, you know, and my body has needs. No, there's also spiritual needs that I have, which is doing the job that I choose to do, because my heart tells me that this is the job that I need to do in order to live my life in the way that makes me happy. And that's something some people don't get. They just do whatever gets them going. So they just eat certain foods because they're completely ignorant of the fact that these foods are shit for them, and that what makes them unhappy is actually the way they live and not the way they are. That's quite a smart thing to say, isn't it? It's the way you live and not the way you are. And that's when you're in a depression and you think that's just the way you are. You just think all the time, you know, I'm a piece of shit. But that's not true. It's just that your circumstances maybe are shit, or you just never learned to see it in a better way. So I always hated my life, and I hated the fact that we're like middle class and I live in that house. I already talked about that. So I had to learn to accept it, and from that place of acceptance I could then start building something for myself, because now I've accepted where I was placed in this life as Christopher Reusch, who has parents that worked hard and that can afford having me doing my thing. But for that I also had to acknowledge the fact that I have certain needs which my parents cannot give me, and which they might even have trouble granting me. because they don't understand why I have these needs, because they don't have them. Because they needed other things. So, from a spiritual perspective, they would have had the need to be parents, but they, first of all, they made certain experiences in their life, or they just wanted to work. So for them it was all about just earning money in the way that, other people earn money, in a way. They're also individuals, so they found their own things to do. And that in turn then granted their child the ability to pursue his dream to become an author. So instead of reliving my parents' life by just working hard for other people, I must create something for myself. It's like that Inception idea. Also, another great movie that I've watched, and that was quite shocking and shockingly revealing, is Nightmare Alley.